A mirror? Jacob asked himself, eyeing the mirrored shield on Sylvie's right arm. Sycamore started performing more hand signs, and Verdal sprayed a torrent of green fire at him in response, but the frozen mirror hovered between them and protected its frosty master. When he was finished, Sycamore laid his hands on his chest, and snow was suddenly pulled to him from the ground before forming an entire suit of armor made of ice, surrounding his entire body in frozen plate mail, including his stone harpoon. Without warning, he sidestepped his mirror and made an action like throwing his harpoon, though the actual weapon was still frozen to his armor. As he did so, a long icicle spear launched from the frosted tip of his weapon before more ice coated it over again. Verdal was aghast and just barely dodged before he waved a furious lash of fire at Sycamore. The frost giant stood there, unfazed by his attack. Everyone was taken aback when Sycamore stuck his harpoon deep within the mirror, and as he pulled it back out, it became coated in a thick, silvery substance. Sycamore started to roar as he charged at Verdal with both hands on his silver-coated weapon, so Verdal raised a hand and fired a volley of powerful explosive blasts that seemed to bounce right off the armor and detonate in the snow behind him. Jacob and Sylvie were shocked and moved to intervene, but they were too far away from their arguing to be close enough to help. Verdal blocked the first jab of Sycamore's harpoon with his staff, but he was shocked when the old frost giant smacked the tree-shaped weapon aside and stabbed his harpoon right at his chest. The old king just barely dodged, but Jacob and Sylvie looked on with shock as the silvery goo flew past Verdal before stopping cold in midair and changing directions, launching itself directly into his back. Verdal stumbled forward as the silver suddenly coated him over, and Sycamore only laughed as it boiled and rolled over Verdal's skin. But he needed to dodge as Jacob slammed the Buster Sword on the ground furiously. "What did you do to him?" Jacob snarled as flames of rage flared up on his blade. As if to answer his question, the silvery substance hissed and pulled itself from Verdal before forming into an exact duplicate of him. The silvery copy looked to his own hands and asked, "What is this?" with great fright, and it seemed the original had been turned to stone.